What to do, y'all? This is your boy, Sherry Speaks. Right now, I want to talk to you guys about Into the Badlands, Season 3, Episode 6, BlackWindHowls. And in this episode, really, we get a lot more in-depth look at Bajie's past. In order to get to Pilgrim, from last week's episode, they decided they had to go to one of Bajie's old friends, which actually turns out to be his ex-wife named Lily. Well, it turns out Lily is pretty much is just feeding herself hand to mouth, as she says, ever since Bajie left her some time ago. Now, mind you, they had only been married for 2 years, and obviously she still scorns Bajie about why he left and things of that nature. Lily tells Sunny while on the ship that the reason why everything went sour between Bajie and Lily is because Bajie heard one damn thing about Azra and took all their money and possessions and went to look for Azra and left her there, homeless and just cold all by herself. Which I can completely understand why, Lily would hate Bajie the way he is. I mean, even he said, like, listen, when the River King showed up with all his goons, and Lily had a knife to Bajie's neck, he said, look, I don't blame you for, feeling the way you are, because what you said about me is true. It is. But, even when Lily actually, from the looks of it, betrayed Sunny and Bajie, you could tell Bajie was really hurt. He said, look, man, I'm sorry, Sunny. I gave the best 2 years of my life. And it's really hard to really see that, actually. But then also in the episode, Tilda, I'm sorry, Odessa leaves Tilda because she's tired of fighting and things like that. All the while, Linda pretty much tells him, like, listen, I brokered a deal with the widow. So then Lydia said the reason why she brokered a deal with the widow so then that she can give the farmers, so then she can compensate the refugees for farming and make sure they own the farm. So then that can sustain life within the Badlands, to keep it peaceful in the Badlands. I don't blame that idea. I like Lydia's idea. But of course, the widow's doing her typical manipulative declarations as usual. When she was face to face with Pilgrim, she said, look, I just want peace in the Badlands. I just want to take out Child, so I need your help, and things like that. It's pretty much the same old thing. Now, mind you, the widow went after Child. I'm sorry. Now, mind you, the widow went after Child. So then, in order to retaliate, the Child went after Pilgrim and his people. Slayer took away all his refugees. And even one of Child's Clippers looked at Pilgrim and said, while he was giving a sermon to his people, he said, look, I just want you to know, I knew Castor. I fought with him. He was a pretty strong fighter, things like that. And you have my condolences. But mind you, no one knows that he's dead. They think he's all dead because he's so sick, And of course, you see MK there along with Tilda. Now, mind you, Tilda went to the widow herself, said, look, I want to help you take down Child. Not as mother and daughter, but as allies or enemies. We can either be allies or we can be enemies. Your choice. And Widow's like, okay, allies it is. So now Tilda and Widow are going to try to take down Baron Child, the last standing Baroness of the Badlands, the original Badlands. Now, it's really interesting to see how Lily's life was. She's playing a little game, trying to get some money. She's pretty much a smuggler and a swindler, just like Bajie once was. Turns out, actually, Bajie was even a pirate at one point, which is why Lily was so attracted to Bajie. The way he was able to convince people and persuade people into doing things. They kept running scams up and down the ocean in the Badlands, and their dream was to sail the world together. But like I said before, Bajie heard one little lick of Azra and took all their possessions and went on his own. All of which he regrets, of course. And then it's kind of crazy because now we see Sunny also while he's on the ship trying to sleep, he keeps seeing his younger self. And he tells Bajie, I remember this boat because when I was a kid. And we saw a little bit of a flashback of that when he was a kid. All these different refugees and things like that. And all of a sudden mayhem had struck. And the young Sunny, his mouth is covered. And so I can only imagine what that means. Just complete anarchy. Now, when the River King shows up, obviously, he says, look, I'd hate to make the boy an offer. This is the second time I've had to try to cash in on Sunny. Sunny held an axe to River King, said, look, you cost me my damn family. Mind you, Bajie is bounded up by a blade to his neck. Pretty much it looks like it can be the end game. But, of course, Sunny thinking on his feet, he's able to get Bajie to safety and just really much take out most of the River King's people. And he even brokered a deal with the River King. He said, look, get the rope. We're going to keep him alive. Because the River King knows where Pilgrim is. He said, look, if you want to get the Pilgrim alive, you're going to need me. So now I guess the River King is going to be bounded and pretty much help Sunny and Bajie get the Pilgrim to stop him. Because remember, Akara told him that all Pilgrim wants is complete chaos. So right now I don't even know who to vote for, aside from Sunny and Bajie. Because the Widow still seems to be still up to her old tactics and things like that. It'll be really hard to tell. And even actually speaking of Pilgrim, him and Caressa actually got into it because Pilgrim was under the impression that Caressa actually told Caster to go out there and fight Baroness Chow. And, you know, she's like, no, I didn't do that. He did it on his own accord. You know, he did. Listen, your love, your heart is clouding your perception. All she cares about is Azura. And so Pilgrim says, look, defy me. I will not tolerate disloyalty. And defy me again, and you will see my wrath. Or something of that variation. So this episode was pretty damn cool to see. I look forward to next week's episode. This is your boy Speaks. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for all that other jazz and all the more content. I love you guys. God bless.